These folks might not look dangerous, but they are. One of them is Canada's worst driver.
And the final candidate this year is Albertan Ashley, who can be a monster behind the wheel.
Drive over. Ooh.
Our expectations are low, and our insurance is high. Canada's worst drivers and the people who nominated them will soon be on the road to rehab.
Welcome, everyone. Thanks for coming. Inside those envelopes are the directions that are going to get you to our maximum security driver rehabilitation center.
This year's rehab center is in Guelph, Ontario, 45 kilometers from this parking garage. If the bad drivers follow our simple list of directions, they should cheerfully get to rehab in under an hour. Bryan made his Albertan wife, Ashley, this year's final worst driver candidate.
Save the best for last. Show them how it's done.
Absolutely. Let's get out of here.
At home in Medicine Hat, Ashley is one of those Albertans who laughs at the idea of fuel efficiency. She prefers driving her husband's monster truck.
I've had my license for 7 years, and I've probably hit about 20 to 30 things.
A big reason Ashley hits things
Who the does she think she is?
is that she tends to be hostile.
That's some stupid some has a attitude, and I don't give a flying.
Ashley has a truckload of anger,
I don't move for dumb. How about that?
but she saves her greatest rage
You tool.
for her husband, Bryan.
Bryan and I always argue about my driving.
Oh! What the?
I mean, we fight a lot.
She's made me walk a few times.
Shut up before I make you shut up.
In what world can you turn right across 2 lanes?
Go yourself.
I keep divorce papers in the glove box. Yeah, it's pretty intense sometimes when we're driving.
But
We always make up after.
apparently so. Ashley and Bryan have a mohawked baby boy, aptly named Diesel.
I have a son now. I don't want to turn him into a little driver.
On her way to rehab,
Whoa! Signal, you retard.
Ashley meets up with Ken.
Oh, it's him! He's behind us!
Oh, there's one of them.
It's a race now.
Red lights are where most urban street races begin.
Oh, let's race.
Prairie driver.
Coming off the light, Ashley floors it.
Don't let him get in front of you. He's gonna cut in front of you.
No woman's gonna pass me.
Then Ken floors it.
Oh, how dare he. We're staying on his ass.
When Ken brakes for a slow driver ahead,
Oh yeah.
Ashley boxes him in and speeds past.
What a sucker.
Street racing isn't just a traffic offense, it's a crime you can go to jail for.
Oh, yellow lights.
The last person still on the road
Where's this sign, you idiot?
just raced past the rehab center.
Why don't you say something? Like, what the is your problem?
Getting here, Ashley didn't cause a 4-car pileup like she recently did in Medicine Hat.
I hit one person, it was a chain reaction. I didn't at them or complain.
Wow, how big of you.
Well,
To see if the candidates for Canada's worst driver are up to scratch when it comes to handling an automobile in tight situations, their very first challenge here at our rehab center is all about maneuvering. Now, just to make sure they don't blame their bad driving on a faulty vehicle, we're giving them a Porsche. Yeah, a Porsche. I've never driven one of these things before.
Unfortunately, I'll start my Porsche driving career inside this tight little cubicle.
Now, to get out of here, the drivers are going to have to be careful.
This unforgiving trap is frustrating.
Yeah, it's just gonna take a while.
It takes me 19 turns and 4 minutes to get out cleanly.
Okay, and from here, it's a simple reverse. in a straight line all the way back.
This section isn't truly challenging until the end,
Keep an eye on my front.
where there's a tight turn.
That's it. I'm good to go.
From here, drivers go forward into our slow slaloms.
This is where we want to see the turning abilities of the bad drivers, so they must get up to 40 kilometers an hour, keep two hands on the wheel, and make this slalom course.
Stop. Did you hear what I just said?
Keep two hands on the wheel.
Keeping two hands on the wheel is crucial for safe driving. Imagine the wheel as a clock. If you place your hands in the 2:45 position, you will never have to let go when swerving at 40 an hour or faster. That's why, to pass our slalom, drivers must maintain 40 and not let go.
Woohoo, which I did.
Headed into the hallway of boxes, drivers must accelerate to 60.
Accelerate, accelerate, accelerate.
Then brake at the checkered flags.
Come to a complete skidding stop without hitting anything, which I did. It's really not that hard. But how hard will it be for Canada's worst drivers?
We're about to find out with Ashley. Ashley starts without a real plan.
I don't know how close I am.
Oh, we're gonna get wedged in here.
Sakes. Well, now we're back in square one.
Knowing what doesn't work, Ashley does the opposite
How close am I?
Lots of room.
and escapes the trap without touching.
Use your mirrors.
Ugh, Bryan!
Now watch mirrors.
Mirrors don't help. I'll never use them.
You should write a letter to auto companies everywhere, tell them they should stop making cars with mirrors.
I can't use mirror.
Okay,
Ugh,
just use your mirror.
I don't know how to use my mirror.
It takes 40 minutes, but Ashley gets through the reverse without using her mirrors.
I wasn't gonna scratch somebody's Porsche.
And with that,
All right.
Ashley heads into the slalom.
Holy.
40.
Ashley gives the car gas with her right stilettoed foot, then brakes late with her left stilettoed foot.
Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God!
Ashley came to rehab so she could have access to our crack team of experts.
I like shaking.
You need your vision to drive. There's no other way around it. You need your eyes.
Before our crew of experts meets all of this season's nominees for Canada's Worst Driver, Sergeant Cam Woolley of the Highway Safety Department wants to scare some sense into 4 of them.
I've been doing this job 30 years. I've met a lot of nice people that got into serious trouble.
And Ashley is in this group
This is a race now.
because of her street race with Cam.
No woman's gonna pass me.
All these things are a breach of the Criminal Code of Canada. They can get you behind bars, get you in jail.
So, Cam is going to put these 4 drivers in jail.
And I think it's important that you have a touch of that. You see what it's like in there. It's not good.
2 years ago, over 3,600 Canadians were sentenced to prison for drunk driving offenses. We're only locking the criminal drivers up for a few short minutes. But that's long enough for each of them to understand. Prison is not a place they want to be. Albertan Ashley was made a candidate for Canada's Worst Driver by her rig-working husband, Bryan.
Holy.
In the oily Albertan world of monster trucks, huge shoes, and even bigger attitudes,
I don't move for dumb. How about that?
Ashley is a force to be avoided.
Oh.
Even if a motorist never intends on owning a large vehicle, it's still a good idea to practice with one because it helps you know where the... Sorry about that. It helps you know where the corners of your bumpers are. The next challenge for Canada's worst drivers is to drop off the jailhouse laundry.
In this prison laundry truck, drivers will make their way along this short snaking route until they rise up this ramp and finish. The twist? This laundry truck challenge will be done in reverse. The first driver is me.
I know that I need to do a sharp turn first of all to get out, make sure my nose clears there. And I'm using both my mirrors and I'm looking and I'm looking and I'm looking.
But I'm not understanding what I'm seeing.
When I looked in the mirror, I didn't know if it was this far or this far.
Now that I know, I realize I'll need to do something called the S-turn. This maneuver will ultimately shift my vehicle sideways. To do it, I'll simply drive forward to my left, then forward to my right. Then I back straight up.
Take a little tiny S-turn forward to get closer to my left. Okay, I'm totally clear.
At the halfway point, there's a bump that is very awkward.
But it is so doable. No scratches, no scratches.
No scratches means more S-turns.
We talk then to your right, and then back straight up, and now I've moved my car over all of 2 or 3 inches, but in this situation,
That's enough.
now I can just take a straight run up. And that's it.
A clean run takes me just under 10 minutes.
Now, let's see how Canada's worst drivers do.
Ashley knows she should be wearing flat footwear to drive, but she's wearing stilettos.
I'm sorry, my other boots just didn't match.
Driving in 6-inch.
I'm not taking my boots off.
High-heeled shoes get caught under the pedals. Those shoes are a crash looking for a place to happen.
This challenge is forcing Ashley to use her mirrors.
I never use my mirrors. This is frustrating. I'm gonna lose it.
Ashley needs to do an S-turn to get repositioned.
I'm in the same spot.
Whoa.
What?
Bryan knows how to do an S-turn,
Listen to me.
but he can't explain it.
You gotta move your truck from right here. You want it over here. So now you have to wiggle and maneuver.
Oh!
Shouting commands doesn't work either.
Other way, stop.
Don't tell me the other way. Tell me which way. This way or that way. Not the other way. Make it simple.
To put it simply,
Oh!
Ashley isn't ready to learn.
You have to have a positive attitude, acknowledge the need for change, and then you'll learn.
I'm never gonna get this reversed.
Turn your wheel left.
Without warning, a freak storm suddenly rolls in. By the time Ashley cheats her way to the final ramp,
Use your mirror. Use your mirrors.
the rain is almost vengeful.
Oh my God!
Holy mother of all things holy. God's not very impressed with your car handling there, apparently.
For Ashley, this series of disasters did have one shining success.
In 7 years, I've never used my mirrors once.
I can't believe you used your mirrors.
I know, eh?
Like,
It's
holy.
crazy.
Parallel parking in a tight space shouldn't be intimidating because it's actually very easy. To make sure Canada's worst drivers understand this all-important skill, they're about to get a parking lesson from our head instructor, Dan.
Parallel parking is done in 4 steps. First, pull up beside the car you want to park behind. Then, turn your wheels toward the curb and reverse until you're on a 45-degree angle. Once you've backed in, turn your wheels towards the road and swing in. It's challenge time. And the challenge is parking this family van in downtown Guelph in front of our boisterous crowd of onlookers. Ashley's next. Ashley starts by losing her mind.
Oh, I totally forgot what he said. Everything he told me is blank right now. It's totally blank.
Just settle down.
I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna seriously cry.
She just works herself up.
This is stupid.
She's a drama mama.
I don't want to do this. I really don't want to do
try
this
again.
no more.
Line yourself
I
up.
don't want
Line
this.
yourself up.
This is a trick. There's no.
Oh, there's no trick. You can fit.
Ashley's 60-second time limit is done.
Oh!
Ashley predicted failure, and she failed.
I can't do it. You see me? I didn't do it. I couldn't do it. I can't do it, so I'm not gonna do it.
Ashley tries doing it again,
Holy okay.
but her anxieties are too overwhelming.
Relax.
I can't do it. Everything that he said is like gone.
Doesn't look like she remembered anything that I taught her.
I've got myself now. I've got myself.
Frustrated, Ashley pulls forward without looking.
Oh my! I want out! If you make me hit something again, I'll stab you.
I'm not making you do nothing. You're driving.
You're ruining my life. You're a piece of. You can't. I don't want to do this. I'm gonna have a breakdown.
Ashley's emotions are driving her to ruin.
That was horrible. That was the absolute worst thing ever.
In our opening episode, Canada's worst drivers showed us they can't brake safely in a straight line.
Oh, damn it.
In this, our second episode, we're going to go one step further. It's time for the challenge. This course is one simple corner that's made to simulate ice.
To get around the icy corner, I have to lock up the brake, turn the wheel, look to where I want to go, release the brake slowly, and hopefully everything will be fine.
To keep things safe, we're doing this challenge at the very low speed of
25 kilometers an hour, which I'm at right now. I turn, look, release, and I just got out of there.
It may look simple, but the sliding makes you weak in the knees. Ashley needs to relax.
I'm gonna have a heart attack.
Go. Give her, give her, give her, give her, give her, give her, give her. Give her, give her, give her, give her.
Ashley's learning curve has no curve.
I'm kicking ass.
Yeah.
I am. I'm learning.
Now, if you just stop running through things.
You don't have to have eyes in the back of your head to be a good driver. You just have to turn your head. It's a technique that experts call shoulder checking, and it really is something you should do every single time you change lanes. But do Canada's worst drivers have the ability to see what's going on behind them while they're driving in a straight line? We're about to find out. Here's the straight line the drivers will have to cruise along. When they pass this sign, they'll have to look backwards at it by doing a shoulder check. When the drivers do the shoulder check, what they'll see is a sign that says to either turn left or right. If drivers don't look back and see the sign, they won't know which way they have to go at this V. Let's see what happens. I have to get the car up to at least 60 kilometers an hour in the straightaway, then check my sign. It said go to the right. I slow down. I make the merge. It's done. It really is just that simple. Will Canada's worst drivers be able to do it? We're about to find out. The next candidate hails from Medicine Hat, Alberta, where her monster truck is a mere fashion accessory.
My name is Ashley. I've been nominated for Canada's Worst Driver by Canada's Worst Husband, Bryan.
I'd give you the finger, too, if you did that.
And I run you over.
Ashley needs to get better at driving because it's starting to get tough on the pocketbook, fixing all her broken and, you know, it's for the safety of our family.
The family includes Diesel, who's just days away from his first birthday.
I think I should become a better driver because I have a son now and I don't want him to pick up any of my bad driving.
When it comes to lane changing, Ashley is a road hog.
In what world can you turn right across 2 lanes?
In Ashley's world, 2-lane crossovers are done all the time.
She likes to do these, she calls them California lane changes, and they're basically just cutting people off at high speeds.
I don't give a flying.
At the rehab center on our lane change challenge shoulder check course,
Give her.
when Ashley leans forward to look behind herself,
Left.
she drifts and hits an obstacle.
I hit on one thing.
That's a fail.
The biggest thing at home was to stay in your seat.
Instead of turning just my face, I turned my whole body and I kind of didn't watch.
Watch this. Ashley's second run
Left.
is perfect.
I didn't hit a thing.
Maybe Ashley will be this episode's graduate.
I'm so happy. Going home.
Knowing how to make decisive lane changes is an important part of driving in thick traffic. The next challenge for Canada's worst drivers is weaving in and around half a dozen cars that are stuck on our prison roundabout. These circling vehicles will maintain their speeds of 15 an hour and 25 an hour. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out onto this roundabout, and when I see a gap in the traffic, I go. Do I ever go? I'm in a Jaguar. And to complete this challenge, I have to pass every car on the track. See it, mirror check, blinker, shoulder check. I'm in the other lane. It's fast thinking, but slow driving. Never more than 30 an hour. So where am I now? I'm behind the number 5 truck. I see a space to my right. There's my space. I blinker, I shoulder check, I take the lane, I unblinker, I'm good. I've only got one car left to pass. I take my head turn, I'm done. And that's it. I'm at the finish line. This course is repetitive and tight. And it's a little bit of a confusing ride because of the circular motion. But it can be done fairly easily. Now let's see how Canada's worst drivers do. Freak Out Queen Ashley is next.
I don't want to do this. How do you do this? How? Bryan, like, seriously.
After 3 minutes, Ashley is melting down.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, see how easy that is?
No, I'm not.
Okay, now switch lanes again. Switch lanes, get on
Mirror check, shoulder check, go.
Have to get back in the other lane again because you're behind the van.
When she's screaming, all she does is she's agitating and scaring herself more. And you can't drive calmly and rationally when you're terrified.
I'm shaking. Bryan, I'm shaking. Oh my God.
There are 2 pieces of good news. First, Ashley finishes safely.
Yeah, that was awesome.
And second, Ashley has learned the value of mirrors.
Works.
It does work,
It's
actually.
the only way you can see behind you.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's time to see if Canada's worst drivers have really learned what they've been taught about lane changing. The final challenge in our all-merging episode is to motor up and down a public road while making safe lane changes. The goal here is to do 15 lane changes that are safe. For this challenge, the drivers will make their way to this multi-lane road where they must perform 15 perfect lane changes. To judge whether the nominees' maneuvers are safe, we've given each nominator a scorecard that shows the safety checks which must be done in proper order. What's really unbelievable is Ashley.
This one, blinker. That one, look, merge.
She's failed 15 lane changes in a row.
Okay, just mark me fail on that one.
And she's about to experience a much larger failure.
My brakes, that was scary.
What?
They were like, for a second, it was like it wouldn't, like it felt like my brakes were going.
Ashley creeps off the road with no braking ability.
Now you gotta crank it right to the floor before it breaks. Does that make sense? Like, I'm not exaggerating. Like, you guys need to take a look at this.
There's no need to look. All Bryan has to do is smell.
Can you smell that?
Yeah, I f***ed up.
Ashley's brakes failed because she drove almost half an hour with the parking brake on.
I do not want to do this show anymore. It was a mistake. I don't give a rat.
If Ashley gave a damn, she'd be a better driver.
Don't care. Don't care. I really don't care. I'm staying here and I'm choked. Get the away from me right now. I mean it.
Back at the Love-In,
I don't want to be here anymore.
Ashley is blaming her stay in driver rehab on her husband.
Don't yell at me. You could have said no, I told you to. If you didn't want to go. Yes, I did. How many times I said don't go if you don't want to do it.
Don't away from me.
Ashley came to rehab so she could be a better driver and therefore a more protective mother for her new son. But
So we're getting our kid's first birthday. I hope he's happy.
if Ashley doesn't graduate before our final show,
Oh my God.
She and Bryan will miss their son's first birthday. Right now, I'm going to rescue Ashley.
Okay, so tomorrow we'll just come up with a simple challenge, and it starts with release parking brake.
I know. That's why this is always happening to me.
Why do bad drivers always think this stuff happens to them?
Maybe that should be the next tattoo. Remember to put parking brake in off position.
I need a lot of tattoos for all the driving stuff I've learned.
And so ends one more day in Ashley's driving career.
Bye.
It's time for one of the nominees for Canada's Worst Driver to get their license back as our newest graduate.
I am trying my hardest. I will get out.
Before anyone gets out, the bad drivers head to our courtroom to answer the question, do you deserve to graduate?
Absolutely, I deserve to. I'm working my butts off.
It's time to decide.
I'm more comfortable having Ashley on the road beside me.
The last time Ashley was on a road, she killed her brakes.
Now you gotta crank it right to the floor before it breaks. Does that make sense?
Not forgetting to put the parking brake down. That's, for me, it's a big issue.
I can forgive the parking brake incident. She made a mistake that can be corrected. She knows the serious consequences of it.
Sergeant Woolley agrees.
I think she just edges Ken out.
Sometimes when I'm the tie-breaking vote, my choice even surprises myself.
It came down, Ken, to you and Ashley. So, the judges made their decision. And Ashley, they said Ken is going home.
Right on 10! Wow! I just humiliated myself. Good job, Ken. Good job.
At the rehab center, this Albertan's driving is improving.
I can't believe you used your mirrors.
But Ashley's road rage is still potentially lethal.
Stab you.
The most difficult thing about driving a manual transmission stick shift is starting. And the most difficult start is one on the hill. With that in mind, we created an extremely uphill battle that will force Canada's worst drivers to learn the art of a controlled clutch takeoff. If they do it correctly, well, look at that. They'll achieve balance.
Will I achieve balance? Let's see how hard this challenge really is.
I go up the ramp, giving it a bit of gas, find the middle, and stop. Except I didn't find the middle. Okay, no problem. Put it in reverse, back up, and stop. Except I didn't find the middle. Or did I? Geez, I could be done already. This is not a challenge. This is a cinch.
Figuring this out took me 33 seconds.
But will Canada's worst drivers be able to figure it out?
Ashley is the first bad driver in this two-footed challenge.
Are those the shoes you wear when you drive your standard at home?
Absolutely.
Our panel of experts are not impressed.
Completely starting with the wrong shoes to drive a standard. You need something where you can actually feel the pedals. Those shoes are not going to help her use that clutch at all.
We've talked about that, high heels, all those kinds of shoes. It's hard to feel the grip when the clutch engage. It's hard to feel the pressure on the brake, the throttle. So very important to wear proper shoes.
At home, Ashley owns a stick shift vehicle, and you'll never guess who taught her to drive it.
I taught myself how to drive. I went down the busiest street and I made myself learn how to drive.
Geez, that sounds safe.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
The results of those non-lessons aren't good either.
Ride the clutch a bit there, eh?
I don't want to go too far. Whoa, what the heck's going on?
Ashley is probably the best technical driver we have in rehab. But her short fuse often leads to an explosive downfall.
I hate this thing. Nobody should drive a Honda. They're garbage. They said stay in China. Oh my God.
For the record, Hondas are made in Japan and also in Alliston, Ontario.
This Hondas are garbage. The clutch.
It's not the car. It's wearing improper shoes.
Hondas are garbage. They're garbage vehicles.
It's not the car, it's the driver.
It's the car. The car sucks.
Ashley's balanced, but she's still raging.
No, these cars are garbage. No way.
You guys got earplugs?
Smooth. It's something every driver should always be. Now, it is pretty hard to be smooth if you're in a wading pool, but If you're underneath a wading pool, you have to be smooth. Because if you drive like a jerk, you're going to get soaked.
The next challenge for Canada's worst drivers is to navigate their way around this winding course in this old stick-shift army vehicle.
Oh, look, it's an Iltis. That was a vehicle designed specifically for the Canadian military.
There's 200 liters of water in that tank above my head, and the way to keep it in the tank is to drive smoothly. Ah! The smallest little maneuver makes that stuff slosh. Oops, the light is red, so I come to a slow stop. Okay, my light's green. Now it gets interesting. That golden 2 right there means I have to get up into second as possible. I'm in second, and that's enough for me. I want to do this as slowly as possible, just because... Oh, look, there's a taxi coming out. No problem.
There's danger up ahead, though.
What some countries call a sleeping policeman is what we call a speed bump. Oh, and I just got sloshed upon by going over it.
Then there's a hairpin turn that leads to this riser.
Which could very well be the hardest thing on the hardest thing on the entire course. Go up smoothly. Ooh, that's too much gas. Over the rise, over the rise. Don't get me wet. There I'm at the crux. Ah!
Instead of waiting for everything to settle, I foolishly decide to risk going.
The risk? Well, the risk is you could get a big slop.
Thankfully, I'm almost done.
Now it's time to parallel park. Am I embarrassed? Hell yes. But what are you gonna do? I'm through. Look, I'm way out, but if I do a dry turn, which is kind of an ironic thing to bring up at this stage, I should get into my final parking spot and get out before the crew mock the living hell out of me. Aha. And I'm done.
I'm done, with 20 liters lost.
Now let's see if Canada's worst drivers can do this in a sensible manner. Oops.
Ashley will start with a fresh tank.
Here you go.
Oh!
Because Ashley drives a standard at home,
Nice and easy.
her problem isn't handling the clutch.
Oh, left.
Her problem is a combination of steering and screaming. On the first straightaway,
We have to be in second gear here.
Ashley accelerates towards the blind corner.
Nice and easy, nice and easy, jerk.
I look like a drowned rat.
And she sounds like a mezzo-soprano on a crystal meth binge.
Cars.
Ashley's like the poster child of a slasher movie.
I didn't do that great. Obviously, maybe I'm a little bit of a jerky standard driver than I thought I was. I got taken down a pit.
Ashley, a new mother from Medicine Hat, Alberta, often lets go of the wheel while driving.
Hello?
Handling her monster truck, Ashley is a phone-wielding, text-messaging, makeup-applying fool.
I do multitasking in my vehicle.
Ashley does hairdos in her vehicle. Ashley's husband, Bryan, made her a candidate for Canada's worst driver, largely because of Ashley's self-absorbed driving style.
It's going to result in a bad accident, and I don't want to see that.
I'm sliding out of control.
To prove how dangerous it is to drive distracted,
Okay, powder, just a little bit, because I don't look ah!
we're having Canada's worst drivers
Powder, see, powder.
each perform several tasks they often do behind the wheel.
You get a tire hair and a ponytail.
Horrible.
Because we've narrowed the driving lane,
I can't do this.
we're sure the bad drivers will learn.
Not good enough.
There is no room for split focus behind the wheel.
I get it. I can't drive. Distracted. I get it, guys. I get it.
That's something Sergeant Cam Woolley of the Ontario Provincial Police wants all commuters to get.
They're trying to get dressed. They're trying to have breakfast, drink coffee. It seems we have a drive-through society, and that is adding up to crashes. You can't drive safely and do something else.
Doesn't look like she remembered anything that I taught her.
It shows us how important it is to stay calm and unemotional while driving.
In this distracted driving experiment, we're learning that Ashley can't even think while driving.
9 times 13.
I don't know.
Ashley can't safely drink while driving.
Keep up your speed.
And she certainly can't handle her phone while driving.
How come you can't hold on to that?
Shut up!
But more than anything,
Oh my God!
Ashley's biggest distraction behind the wheel is fighting with her husband.
Put your ponytail back in.
What the is your problem? Get the thing. Straight away. Shut up! You're making me do thing.
Seeing Bryan's toxic effect on Ashley
Shut the up.
is no laughing matter.
Don't laugh.
Hair in a ponytail?
Yeah,
That's
you-
a hideous looking ponytail.
Oh, shut up. What are you, a hairdresser?
He communicates anger, and she's picking up on his emotions and not listening to the words, even if the words are good advice.
Speed up.
Shut up!
Passengers need to understand that drivers have to be focused too, and drivers need to be ready to tell the passenger to be quiet.
Shut the
Another bite it.
I can't do it! I can't do it! Piss! I can do a thing right.
Oh, it's
Shut up! I don't want to talk to you. Just off for sakes.
If we are upset in a car, pull over, slow down, and deal with whatever is going on.
Ashley's way of dealing with her husband is like pouring gas on a fire.
okay.
Ashley's driving issue is really a personality issue.
I'm better now.
Oh, you.
Maybe marriage counseling should be a next course.
No. Canada's worst drivers showed up in rehab just a little bit off kilter. Their next challenge is to realize that even if the vehicle they're driving is off kilter, well, the rules of driving remain the same.
This challenge is a rolling ramp that's just wide enough for the car to be able to move along it without falling off. We call this challenge the snake.
Now, the point of this course is to teach the bad drivers where their wheels are at all times.
This course is pretty tough, but it is the kind of things that drivers will have to do in some of the tight indoor parking lots in the major cities in Canada.
What you want to do when taking corners in a confined space is go as far to the outside as possible. What does that mean? That means if you're turning left, the outside is the right.
I am turning left, so I want to avoid all of this inside area.
I want to make sure that I'm okay, and I'm pretty sure I am. Truth be told, I can't actually see the edge.
A good driver should know where their wheels are based on what they observed previously.
My last turn is to the left, so once again, same old, same old. I'm going to go as far to the outside as I can before making that turn. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you drive the snake. Now,
you know what happens now.
Let's see how Canada's worst drivers do.
Ashley is up first. Ever since getting to rehab, Ashley has been wearing shoes that are ridiculous for driving.
Why don't you take your boot off?
I'm not taking my boots off.
Are those the shoes you wear when you drive your standard at home?
Absolutely. These are my driving shoes.
Not anymore, they're not.
Those shoes gotta go, though.
Why?
Because they're ridiculous to drive in.
Ashley's not the only worst driver candidate we have this year who wears ridiculous shoes. We have a plan. In the future, the women will bring appropriate driving shoes to to every challenge.
You're going to walk in your cool shoes and then change to your driving shoes every time you get in the vehicle, starting now on.
Okay.
Hey, where's your shoes?
My shoes? These
Yeah.
are my shoes.
No.
While Ashley gets her shoes, Ashley is back again.
Get the right shoes this time?
Yeah.
Good.
But Ashley isn't lacing her shoes up.
Okay.
Why not do them up?
The laces aren't long enough.
Am I your mother? What do you mean they're not long enough? The whole idea we put you in shoes and not flip-flops is so you don't slip around.
Okay.
They don't lace up. They don't lace up, unfortunately. Doesn't look cool.
Now, I don't know if it's the footwear
Don't rush me, please.
or the daily lessons, but Ashley drives around the snake like it's a quaint country road.
She is doing extremely well.
There's one minor mishap.
Oh. No, I don't want to hit anything.
But Ashley's done in less than 90 seconds.
She's the fastest one by far here.
Wow.
Yeah!
Ashley's raging success creates more questions than answers.
So my question is, if she can do this well in such a challenging course, why does she melt down in other situations?
Just for fun, I ask Ashley to try charming the snake in reverse.
Okay.
This sucks.
Check that back end.
I'm looking at the back end. I can't see nothing.
Whenever Bryan gets confused in the passenger seat,
How much room do you got on your side there?
Ashley's confusion doubles it.
I have no idea what to do. None whatsoever. I don't know what to do, Bryan. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do, and it doesn't help that you don't know what to do.
Do what you gotta do.
I'm not trying to fight with you. I'm trying to get help.
And here we go. She's just going to wind herself up and get so upset she won't be able to think clearly.
I don't know what to do. Like, this doesn't make sense.
After 15 minutes of reversing,
We're in the exact same spot.
I'm pissed.
Ashley has gone nowhere.
I can't get this. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. I'm pissed. I'm pissed now. This is stupid. I have no idea what the to do. None. Can we just quit?
If Ashley quits, she won't be graduating.
Stop, stop, stop!
Okay! Chill the out. I don't know what to do. I really don't know what to do.
I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know what the to do. I'm serious. I'm drained. I don't know what the to do.
He could have been more supportive right from the start.
Bryan, if you want to get out and I'll do it by myself, I'll show you that I'm doing it right.
I'm trying to help you here.
This kind of help Ashley doesn't need.
Give it gas. Give it gas. Give it gas.
Holy Bryan,
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Whoa, I had my foot on the brake. We're not going nowhere.
Give gas. All the gas.
We're not going nowhere, Bryan.
I'll push you.
No, you can't. Get in the car, Bryan. Get in the car.
Go.
Oh.
Well, stop.
Bryan, I'm right on the edge.
Then just go backwards. Turn hard right and just go backwards. If we go off, we go off.
We're off.
Just give gas and go.
What do we do? What do we do?
Stop and relax, okay? Okay, here.
What a contrast. A minute and a half going forward and over 40 minutes and just a complete meltdown in reverse.
I just feel me. I don't even care.
It's all right. It's all right. It's all right.
I was doing so good. Everything up.
Ashley's darkest emotions are driven solely by cars.
Just driving. Driving. I don't ever cry. Ask Bryan. I don't cry. I don't. That's the biggest thing at home. Everyone laughs because I don't cry over nothing except for this.
Driving.
Driving.
When Canada's worst drivers swerve, it's usually a pretty erratic event. So today, we're teaching them how to turn around a suddenly appearing obstacle in a controlled manner. We call this lesson swerving and avoiding. But it's the avoiding part we're trying to put an emphasis on. Avoiding! This is the Swerve and Avoid Challenge. And to do it, we've broken out the largest car in the lot. Now, for this challenge, I have to go 40 kilometers an hour in a straight line. Then, one of these two taxis will pop out.
That's when I have to swerve to the safe side.
If I remember not to brake, I should be able to steer through this. I'm looking at the speedo. I'm at 33. There's 40. Ooh! This is one of those challenges that I truly can't believe. I actually made it through there. Now, let's see if Canada's worst drivers can do it.
Ashley could be in rehab for a very important day.
What's happening on Saturday?
It's my son's very first birthday.
He's the real reason you're here, hey?
Oh, absolutely he is.
To remind Ashley what's at stake whenever she drives, we're giving her these pictures of her son.
So you drive with this now. Put that on your rear view. That's awesome, man.
Hopefully that'll give her some incentive to get it right the first time.
Go.
Ashley's incentive doesn't outweigh her instinct to hammer on the brakes.
Right!
Oh, I hit the brakes! I hit the brakes! What am I doing? I hit the brakes!
And you hit the cap.
For run number 2, go! Ashley starts with perfect grip.
Okay, 35.
But she lets go and she steers.
I never hit the brakes once. Like, I never hit the brakes that time until I got through. My heart is like racing right now. Like, this is so intense.
If Ashley doesn't graduate this episode, she won't make it home in time for her son's first birthday.
Left. 5 seconds.
Ashley saw the cab like a moth sees a flame.
Why do you go for you're going for the one that's moving?
I don't know.
I don't know what happened there.
I'm sorry.
Before any driver does graduate, the experts want to hear them acknowledge their specific problems. Can Ashley admit to her emotional issues?
I bombed. I totally bombed. I freaked, got frustrated. I broke down to the point where I don't think anyone should get that frustrated, where I was starting to I couldn't even breathe properly. I was getting so upset. I was bawling. I humiliated myself. I think emotionally, I need to get my in check because I'm a mess. I know I got to get my in check. I know it.
Is Ashley officially on our short list?
Yes.
Yes, Cam?
A short list, but I think Lindsay beats her.
I would disagree. I think Ashley is our better driver out of the two.
I've been on the roads with both of them, and Ashley edges out Lindsay. She actually can drive in traffic very well.
But she can't drive anywhere in the presence of her husband.
I think that Ashley's going to actually start to tone it down with her husband in the car once she gets home. For
That's
her son's
nice
sake.
that you think that she might do that, but we're going on the evidence that we've seen here, and I've seen no evidence that she's going to tone it down. Doctor, do you see it?
I don't see any evidence yet.
I'm still voting for Ashley.
I've got to edge it to Lindsay. I recognize Ashley's ability, but Lindsay stays in control.
Again, my choice would be for Lindsay. I would agree that Ashley has the better skill set, but oh my God, she's like a grenade.
The nominees gather to learn that in this all-turning episode, none of them really impressed the experts.
In fact, by the end of the episode, only 2 people were considered for graduation. And those 2 people were Lindsay and Ashley. And Lindsay, you were going to get your license back until we saw you go through that swerve and avoid challenge. And when you slaughtered the course, we realized this episode's graduate had to be no one.
That sucks. That does suck.
Last year, one of our drivers was reversing when he spun his car all the way around. Understanding why that happened will prevent it from happening. So, the next challenge for this season's drivers is to learn how to do a similar spin-out, except theirs will be in a controlled manner. Our high-performance driving instructor, Philippe Letourneau, will show me how it's done right now.
It looks more complicated than it actually is, so you'll see it's quite easy. Obviously, we're going to start in reverse.
How fast?
Plus or minus about 30 to 40K. We need to create what we call a pendulum effect to swing the car full 180.
Steering does that.
Quarter turn to the right, so we swing the car one way.
Right.
Then right away we'll swing the car the other way.
About 3/4 turn.
Why am I bothering going to the right? I don't
It's
understand.
basically to create a pendulum effect.
The pendulum effect uses momentum to conquer gravity. Here's how it works. Philippe reverses at 35k an hour, then turns slightly one-way freeze. That small turn causes the car's center of gravity to direct its momentum this way. When Philippe steers the other way, the center of gravity keeps pushing out as the vehicle turns in. The left front wheel bears the extra weight, while the rising right wheel loses its grip on the pavement. The compromised traction allows the entire front end to freely swing like a pendulum. This maneuver is the most complicated skill we've ever taught.
To pass this challenge, the bad drivers have to pull off the tight maneuver inside a very tight space. So once again, I'm going to look in a straight line behind me. In this case, I'm going to keep my eyes on the finish mark. Then, as soon as I get into the large part of the course, I'm going to lift my foot off the gas, quick jag to the left, 3/4 turn to the right, wait for the nose to come around, straighten out my steering, drop it and drive, and nose right up to the finish line. Sounds easy in theory. Let's see if I actually learned what Philippe taught me. All the way back, and... drop it and drive, and pull forward to the finish line. It's just that easy. Ba-boom, 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 ba-boom. Now, let's see if Canada's worst drivers can keep their wits about them and also pull off this challenge.
Freakout Queen Ashley will drive Bryan, her husband.
This is attempt number 1.
Ashley should get this, if fighting with her husband Bryan doesn't get her first.
Step on, step on, step on.
Now, turn. Oh, what am I doing? What am I doing?
I don't know, but there
I
goes.
totally f***ed it up. I f***ed it up. I want another attempt. I want another attempt.
There she goes again, working herself up into a frenzy.
Okay, this is attempt number 2.
Just hammer on it. Hammer on it.
Now, brake and drive. I didn't even look down. I did it! I didn't hit a box!
Ashley could be our next graduate.
I go blank. I don't know what it is. But you can't go blank because when you're in a freaking accident, you get one shot for something.
Nice cars deserve nice parking jobs. Unfortunately, that's probably not going to happen here today in our prison parking lot because the next challenge for Canada's worst drivers is to become parking valets for our fine fleet of almost luxury automobiles. I, of course, am talking about our BMW, our Chrysler 300, the Porsche, the toothpaste blue Gremlin, and our big ugly pickup truck. So, if you're visiting a loved one in the prison today, may I recommend parking across the street, unless you want your vehicle scraped.
There's a twist in this year's parking lot challenge.
No parking unless you reverse into the space.
While people settle into their vehicles, they start getting frightened.
How the hell am I going to turn?
Remember, parking is a destination, not a race. Go!
The drivers are all jockeying for position, kind of pointlessly.
What they don't know is there's no parking spots available yet.
Look at Mr. Aggressive here.
Ashley's aggressiveness has her stuck.
Go.
When everyone drives in, Ashley's still stuck.
Go straight. Straight more. Straight more.
I can't go straight more.
Straight more.
Honey, look how close I am to the frickin'...
Turn your wheel right.
This...
Go.
I can't. Look how close my frickin' box is.
The rules of this parking lot challenge are simple. Drivers must stop between two white lines. And the normal rules of driving must be obeyed. That means following traffic signs, prison signs, and seatbelt laws. Tegan thinks he's going to be the first person parked.
Looking good.
But Bryan wants Ashley to steal the spot.
Yeah, quick. Before Tegan backs in there.
For some reason, Ashley starts drifting backwards.
So here we go again. She's backing up without using the mirrors.
Eventually, she stops by hitting a barrier.
Oh, my God.
I told you, there's a block right behind you.
Ashley has to think about what she's done.
Time to go. You're blocking things up here, Ashley.
This sucks so bad.
And neither does Ashley.
Straighten out. I'm so disappointed in myself right now. I'm like about to cry.
As Ashley heads out, a space opens up. By the time Ashley's back, Amy still hasn't claimed the space.
She's coming too. She's coming too. We got her. We got her. Hard left. Hard left.
Watch my front end. Oh my God, they're both going for it. Oh my God, they're both doing it.
We're in.
Meanwhile, Ashley's backing up towards a spot that Lindsay's facing.
Is she signaling? No, she's not signaling.
Hard right. Yes.
You have to go in between lines too.
Whatever, they can have it. Like, I'm not gonna be
No signs. In between the white lines. There's nobody around here. I'm done.
Success.
I'm happy now.
Ashley parks with 2 violations.
Congrats.
Thank you.
You might have had the hardest car, too.
That's okay, because I drive a truck like this at home anyways, so.
Perfect.
Yeah.
This next challenge might make a few of our students a little bit cross. Canada's worst drivers will take our pristine Jaguar XJ6 for a spin around the old concrete blocks. Their goal is to back this vintage automobile into each one of our 4 parking spaces without damaging the Jag's original paint job.
Almost there.
And done.
Ashley needs more suitable driving attire. Once her high heels get stripped away, Ashley peels off a revealing layer.
Keep going. Don't stop.
Ryan.
Of vintage paint.
Whoa. Please. Whoa.
It's an ugly start
Like, why are you not helping?
that Bryan wants no part of.
Are you gonna help, or are you just gonna sit there and be quiet all day? I want you to help me, Bryan. That's what you're here for. If I wanted to mute, I'd bring nobody.
I don't know how to explain it to make you understand, Ashley.
Just say it how you normally say it. I'll interpret it. That's better than no help whatsoever.
Turn your wheels and then straighten it out so you're pointing straight.
Do you want me by that wall? Is that what
Yes,
you
that's
wanted
what I'm
me to
trying to do.
Okay, then just tell me, because you know what? I'm not that much of an idiot.
He wants her by the wall, not on it.
I'm doing a lot of this on my own, too, Bryan, because I'm learning lots.
I wish Ashley would learn. Scraping is not good.
I think I did good. Like, I just touched the bumper and touched the tires. But that one was really bad.
The nominees for Canada's worst driver are starting to feel, well, sort of like family to each other. So with that in mind, their next challenge is to reverse around our huge figure-8 course with their entire family riding in the car with them. Who wants to go first?
I will.
While Ashley gets ready, the men who nominated Canada's worst drivers are all settling in to watch.
I think every time they hit something, a piece of clothing's got to come off.
Go! Ashley starts by being overly cautious.
Okay, oh, this is going to be tough. I got to go forward a bit. Guys, we can do this if we just had each other.
The challenge is 3 laps. Ashley's first takes over 2 minutes. But
You didn't hit anything yet.
Yeah, you're doing good.
Look at how well Ashley is doing.
maybe Ashley's doing well because Bryan's on the sideline.
I knew Ashley wouldn't hit nothing, but it'll be slow. She does. That's how she does all her reverse challenges, really slow.
I like you guys better than my nominator. Because we can understand.
After hours of rehab lessons, Ashley now understands the best reversing technique is looking straight out the back window.
Last lap!
Without Bryan in the car, Ashley doesn't freak out or hit anything.
Big finish and time!
4 minutes and 57 seconds.
Oh, that's horrible.
Actually, that's not bad. Now it's time for them to walk into the courtroom to explain to us why they think they should be allowed to leave the rehab center as our newest graduate.
I've learned a lot. Biggest thing is the mirrors. Like, I know I've been saying it, but that's the hugest thing.
Are you Canada's worst driver?
No, I really don't think I am.
So, who's good enough to get their driver's license back?
Lindsay showed confidence, and she showed competence in her reversing. The only other person that was close was Ashley.
Lindsay and Ashley both hit nothing on the figure 8 course. They both succeeded in the reverse flick challenge, but in the parking lot, Ashley finished before Lindsay.
I'm done.
Success.
I'm happy now.
Ashley's skill level is better, there's no doubt, but put her in with Bryan, and I fear for the child, I fear for them, I fear for me.
I do agree that Ashley is technically a better driver, but with Bryan, she's still a mess.
I would agree with you guys that Ashley's probably the best driver that we still have, but I would maybe feel safer with Amy on the road.
In episode 1, Ashley from Medicine Hat, Alberta, got a taste of the lockup after she thought it would be fun
This is a race now.
to street race on her way here.
I could have killed somebody. I could end up in jail.
During her wailing stay in rehab, Ashley has proven to be the most volatile driver we've ever dealt with.
I'm gonna lose it. I'm pissed. I'm choked. Shut up! I don't want to talk to you. Just off. For sake.
Today, we're starting things off with our annual Eye of the Needle steering test.
This is a 1990 Chevy G10 van. And this is a hole that's slightly bigger than a 1990 Chevy G10 van. Do you think you could drive this vehicle through this hole? That's the next challenge for Canada's worst drivers.
Actually, they'll have to thread their way through 4 of our arches. I'll do it first by focusing on the biggest rule of safe driving.
And the biggest rule of safe driving is look where you want to go. So am I looking at the arches? No, because if I look at the arches, I will be drawn to the arch. I want to look into the gap between the arch. 50 kilometers an hour. Here we go. Keeping an eye on the speedometer is very important as we get up. I'm at 35, 40, 45, 50. Look. Ooh, I ducked. Do you see me duck as I swish through? I get scared. Ooh, perfect. No challenge spooks me more than the Eye of the Needle. But if Canada's worst drivers keep their wits about them, they can do this too.
Next to see if she can thread the Eye of the Needle is Ashley.
Ashley's problem isn't her driving skill. Her problem is controlling her emotions.
While Ashley slips into some sensible footwear, Bryan slips into his role as arch driving advisor.
Just look right through them, okay?
Okay.
Hammer on it.
50. Oh. Yeah! We did it!
If she continues like this, Ashley will be a shoo-in for graduation.
Check out the new style.
Gotta be the shoes.
Yeah.
If you have to move house, maybe you should rent a trailer. Or maybe you shouldn't. We're about to see. The next challenge for Canada's worst drivers is to tow a trailer around a simple course. Well, it's simple if you know how to do it.
This year, drivers have to pull out of this laneway, then move forward and turn onto this straightaway, which leads to a hairpin turn, which leads to a final reverse into the loading zone. To start,
I want to come out and make the trailer follow me.
To do that, I need to take this turn wide. Because on a corner, a trailer will turn sharper than the truck towing it.
Again, I'm going to take this turn as wide as humanly possible.
The next corner cannot be done in one try, no matter how wide you take it.
I can't make this turn. Not a chance.
In rehab, all the drivers have learned to shift a vehicle laterally using an S-turn. You go a little to the left, then a little to the right, then back straight up.
The S-turns work with the trailer as well, people. It's not just for single vehicles. Now, I think I can make this turn. I'm through. Ooh-wee.
To back into the final parking space,
So I turn to the left to make it go to the right. I just got to make sure that I don't cream something on this side.
I am a happy camper.
Because I, ladies and gentlemen, am done. Woo! And if you want me to help you move, no, not doing it.
This chore took me 23 minutes, and I hit nothing.
Let's see how Canada's worst drivers do.
Ever since meeting Ashley in Medicine Hat, Alberta,
What is your problem today?
we've known that her biggest problem behind the wheel
Shut up! You're making me do thing!
is how she deals with her husband.
Stab you.
I keep divorce papers in the glove box. Yeah, it's pretty intense sometimes when we're driving.
Is fighting part of your relationship, or is that just in driving?
Just in the driving.
Just in the car.
When Ashley directed rage towards her husband back on day one,
Why don't you say something instead of being a dick?
I thought she could benefit from professional help.
There's a psychologist here. I guess you need to see that person.
I'm not crazy. No, I'm not!
Ashley's not crazy,
You're supposed to be my husband!
but Bryan does drive Ashley, well, to the point of despair.
Just shut up and don't laugh. Get the out of the car.
Ashley's volatile relationship with her husband
I'm better now.
is the only thing that stands between her and graduation. So,
Hi there.
Hi.
How are you?
Ashley has finally agreed to professional help.
So this is probably the first time you're talking with someone who's a psychologist, right?
Oh, yeah.
The doctor wants Ashley to learn new ways of communicating with her husband.
When you're in the car, you're shouting at each other.
Yeah.
You're shouting at each other.
I think it's just like our lifestyle. Like, that's how we are. Like, that's how we've always been.
And it's hurtful.
I'm the kind of person that I cannot hold it in because it's just bad if I hold it in. So with Bryan, I can vent, I can let it out, I can say what I need to say.
It's wonderful to be open with your husband, but a little bit of diplomacy wouldn't hurt either.
I don't know why it feels so good to vent, though.
Venting hurts. Venting may feel good, but if you're venting and you're dumping on your partner and vice versa, that hurts.
Mm-hmm.
Ashley has explained to Bryan that whenever they're in the vehicle from now on, he must be less of a rig pig and more of a sweetheart.
You want to bring it in and swoop out so you can bring your trailer in like this, okay? All right, sugar plum.
All right, honeydew melon.
Oh, honeydew melon, that's my favorite.
They might be kidding about their sweetness,
Sorry, sugar plum.
but Ashley and Bryan have made it to the hairpin turn without fighting.
I don't care which way you turn the wheel.
Well,
You
no,
know-
I do because this is how it gets done.
Sugar plum. Okay, if I say not so hard, then that start countering it, going the other way a little bit.
That's not your happy voice. Oh, I'm trying.
I know you're trying. I'm trying to, because I love you so much.
No stress.
Don't worry, sugar plum. Okay, you're off the ramp, Ashley.
I can't see the ramp.
You can't see it, so you're gonna have to guess.
Or she could get out and look.
That doesn't make sense.
It makes a lot of sense.
Just stop, because I'm freaking out over nothing now. I'm freaking out over nothing. See, this is what happens. I f everything up. I can't do this.
Is that the way you need to cut it in?
Yes, because if I'm going hard left, it brings the trailer in.
Then do it.
Bryan, it's not your happy voice.
I can't help. My happy voice is in my ass right now.
Bryan, stop it. You were fine until now. And then all of a sudden you're a
dick again.
Maybe he wants his wife to stay bad at driving so he can feel good.
Stop!
Hard left
Stop.
and then straighten yourself out. Don't just leave yourself
Stop!
left.
Stop yelling at me. You're trying to be a dick. Ugh, fine.
Having Bryan beside her is still explosive for Ashley.
I think bottling it up is tougher, though. I don't know, it's healthy to let it out.
Learning how to control a rear wheel skid while accelerating is the next challenge for Canada's worst drivers. To put that in layman's terms, we're going to be doing donuts.
Steering around an obstacle means this donut will have to be wider than the one I did in my lesson.
Then you plunge it, you feel your back end go, then look where you want to steer.
My donut might not be the prettiest in the box, but my wheels keep spinning and I don't hit the wall.
Woo, I don't think there's a career in stunt driving for me, but I can do a donut when the chips are down. Can Canada's worst drivers do it?
Learning donuts teaches you skid control, and that's a survival skill we need here in Canada.
If Ashley is still in rehab for our final episode, she'll miss her son's first birthday.
Just give it gas. Lost gas. Lost gas. Start steering the other way. Start steering. What are you doing?
Bryan! I tried steering the other way.
Once the back tires are spinning, you gotta steer with the car.
I got that. Tell me when to punch it then.
Oh, punch it. Let off a bit, let off a bit, let off a bit, let off. Oh!
I gotta get out. I did one circle on the
You
track.
did not do it. You did not do it, Ashley.
Bryan's tone will not help her do it.
Get out. I'll do it on my own. Get out. Get out.
All right.
I'm gonna do it on my own. I don't need you.
She ever kicked you out of the car before?
Lots.
Lots.
Yeah.
She's never kicked me out.
Wrong, I'm just going to watch.
Okay.
You guys pack your jammies?
Get ready.
Mm-hmm.
Punch it.
Exactly.
Whoa! Come on. Spin, baby, spin. Kind of wrong because I stopped there.
Ashley's mistake has been holding down the gas pedal. I want Ashley to feather off the gas when she starts spinning out.
You got to find the magic spot, right?
Yeah. Punch it. Lightly feather it off.
Ashley's learning, so I'm leaving.
I'm putting Bryan in.
Okay.
Bryan can get in under one condition.
You have to be quiet the whole time.
Yeah, I'll be quiet, babe.
Listen to Bryan's version of being quiet.
Give me gas, 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 gas. Oh! Relax in your circle.
No talking.
I'm trying to keep you calm.
How are you keeping me calm? You stress me out.
Wow.
How?
Oh, don't get mad at me because you can't do it.
More than driving lessons, this couple needs therapy.
Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. I don't want to hear a word. No, because you don't just tell me something. Demand it. So just shut up. Shut up. I'm going to do this by myself.
You shut up and just do it then.
Out. Get the out.
Whatever. You.
Oh.
Ashley understands her biggest driving problem, but Bryan needs it explained to him.
I tried to explain to her is that she wiped out in this spot so many times that all the gravel got pushed off, and then that's where she kept on trying to do it. So
well, maybe it's because explaining to her, because you were explaining to her like this, I get pissed off too.
But it's so frustrating because she just won't listen.
Well, I try to be frustrating if somebody's talking to me like that, and they kept on saying, "Why do you listen? Why do you listen?" I bet I would be going, "Because I don't like the tone, man."
Yeah.
It's a rig pig. Grab my shoes.
Now it's time for the experts to choose who will get their license back as the final graduate before our ultimate episode. Does Ashley deserve to graduate?
I think I do.
So, who will graduate?
Well, I'm going to go with Tegan.
Dr. Gambora disagrees.
Even though she's still extremely volatile, I think Ashley has finally seen the light that she needs to control her emotions.
Ashley, I think, is a much better driver, but she was a mess. She melted down, especially with her husband in the car. I think we need to keep her here.
I think I'm going to go with Amy.
This decision is going to be controversial, but the experts have to decide who deserves to get their driver's license back.
When you showed up here, you were absolutely the worst driver. But along the road, we've learned that you can learn, and for that simple reason, buddy, you're not Canada's worst driver. Take your license back.
What?
Thank you.
What? What?
What do the other nominees want? They're all horrible drivers.
What the fuck just happened?
If Ashley is crowned Canada's worst driver, I will take away her vehicles.
The first challenge in this all-decisive final episode is called driving in a straight line with a slight turn in the middle. Now, to imagine this course, just picture someone driving in a straight line with a slight turn in the middle. Now imagine the exact same course with no room for error. And when I say there's no room for error, I really mean it. This course has only 8 centimeters of clearance on either side of the vehicle. If they touch anything, even a tire, they have to come back and try again. And to make it all the more difficult, they must hit the speed of 40 kilometers an hour at least once as they do the drive. Okay, wish me luck. Yeesh, it's a little hard on the nerves, but it's just a lane of road. Now, let's see if Canada's worst drivers can get through there at 40. Let's see this. Bring on the nominees for Canada's worst driver.
Ashley's up first.
Give her Ash! Woo! Your time starts now. 1 hour, go.
Oh, that tire touch means Ashley has to try again.
Oh. Oh my God! What the is that? See, I'm still going forward. This is stupid. I'm sorry. I don't even care. I'm going forward.
I'm sad because I really like that car.
On each of Ashley's next 11 attempts, she hits the wall with her passenger side tires.
If Ashley's hitting tires, Emily's going to hit fenders.
But remember, keep your eye where you want to be.
Yeah.
Right?
Tunnel vision.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's tunnel.
She's going to do it this time. That's my actual prediction. I suddenly have this, like, wave of yes, 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 clean, yes.
Ashley doesn't reach 40K an hour, but she does get through cleanly.
And she stayed calm. That's wonderful. If she can do that, she won't be Canada's worst driver.
Come on, Ash.
To succeed, Ashley turns to her mantra.
Look where you want to go, look where you want to go, look where you want to go.
Looking where she wants to go, Ashley steers through cleanly, but she doesn't see her speed.
What was my speed? What was my speed? What was my speed?
43.
Oh, I feel so good.
Look where you want to go. It works every time.
Congratulations.
God. Ah.
To avoid being named Canada's worst driver, the finalists are also going to have to avoid the people who nominated them. The penultimate challenge in this season contains some very familiar obstacles.
This 1 kilometer course contains bits and pieces of every challenge the drivers did in rehab.
It's called the Mega Challenge, and it goes something like this. We start in the Chrysler 300. I go through the eye of the needle, through the second eye of the needle, woo, and the third, and it leads me straight into a big slalom. Slam on the brakes right when I get to here, and I will stop. Oh. Get into the Mustang and get ready to do an icy corner. Now, it's important to remember how to do this before you do it.
To steer through an icy corner, I need to brake, look where I want to go, and then release the brake to prevent skidding.
I'm out of control, but if I look, geez, then it grabs at the end.
The upcoming wooden ramps were used to teach tight turning on day 10 of rehab. After I charm the snakes, there's a short balance beam. Then it's time to park the Mustang.
Gotta go.
And hop into the Porsche.
Today, the Porsche
is only going in reverse.
To get up this narrow ramp, I'll have to
use my mirrors. I come off this ramp using my mirrors the whole way.
After this semicircular laneway,
we're ending with a teeter-totter.
When drivers show us they're on the level, they're done with rehab.
It should be about right there.
That's it. Balanced drivers can get out
and be relieved because, hey, there ain't nothing like being at the finish.
Ashley is in rehab for her explosively named son.
Diesel, 1 year old today.
1 year old today?
Today.
Today's the birthday. Happy birthday, Diesel.
Yeah, happy birthday, buddy.
Ashley squeezes into her driving shoes. Then she heads for the eye of the needle.
Look where I need to go. Oh, look where I need to go. Look where I need to go.
Go off to the left.
Swerving around images of her husband.
Watch my speed.
Ashley loses control.
Oh!
You're killing me.
Ashley brought a lot of outfits to rehab, and she has changed some of her driving habits.
Tunnel vision. Tunnel vision.
But she's still an emotional wreck. This time, instead of stopping, Ashley continues all the way to our wall, and then some. The icy corner is next.
You're doing 30. You're doing 35.
Break. Look where you want to go. Here.
Ash.
Oh. Do you need a lift?
Yeah, I am
Need a
stuck.
lift.
Yeah.
We'll give you a lift right now.
Here we go. 1, 2, left, turn. There you go.
Ashley's not yelling because our psychologist told her to stay calm.
I'm sorry, she's totally wrong.
Who is?
A therapist. It's boiling it up is going to make me blow at you.
Oh, the therapist. They're paid kooks themselves.
Hurry up! The weather's changing.
I'd really like Ashley to hurry up.
Let's go. Because I know one person who's getting wet.
When Ashley gets into the Porsche, it immediately dies.
What is it with my cars? You have got to be kidding me.
To finish, Ashley goes back to the Mustang.
I'm going emotionally nuts because I'm holding it in because of her stupid advice.
I guess it's all my fault that I told her to stay calm.
I need to, kick something. Like a squirrel or a gopher. I need to go shoot a gopher. That'll make me feel better.
Ashley's not going to be able to keep her anger bottled up much longer.
That feels good. It feels good to scream. It feels good to yell. It does not feel right to sit here and hold it in. It feels good to yell.
But yelling's not making Ashley's driving any good.
Oh my God! Bottling it up sucks. I do better. I'm a mess. I'm an emotional mess.
Because you're trying to hold it in?
Yeah. I don't get this challenge. I don't.
It's just reversing for sakes.
Well, then you do, you loud mouth. This feels good. I am so sick of this pretend happy. Doesn't work. I don't get it.
What is there not to get?
Holy don't.
I don't understand.
I don't get it. What do you not get about that? I don't understand it. If I understand, I'd be out of here.
Shut up and listen. If you want the directions, shut up and listen, please.
I don't want to do this anymore.
I don't know how to help you, Ashley.
I just don't get it when you say turn left, turn right. I don't learn nothing.
By the time she gets to the reversing section, Ashley is having a full-on meltdown.
This does not work. I don't understand. I'm so Canada's worst driver.
Oh, this is why
my God, it looks like Alice Cooper.
When Ashley was calm, she was sensible. Now?
I don't know what to do. My brain is lost.
She's so upset. She's impaired. She's dangerous right now.
I don't give a rat's ass anymore. This is humiliating. This is horrible. I'm just working myself up, and I shouldn't even be driving right now.
So get out and take a breath. Get out.
I'm just worked up right now, and I'm not thinking right.
Ashley wants to bypass the remaining reverse section.
I don't want to fail, but I know that I'm going to get in here. I'm going to get worked right back up to the same spot I was in.
So she can finish with dignity, we line Ashley up with the teeter-totter.
Come to me! Okay, there you go.
Hey!
You're driving, Ashley.
You gotta have a little bit of a clue, too, okay? You can't just run over stuff just because we got you here.
I am Canada's worst driver. I am.
And she thinks Bryan is the worst passenger.
Can you give better advice? Can you give advice that would make sense to me?
Ashley is so unbalanced. Even she knows it.
She's just still letting her emotions control her driving.
Well, I've been here for 2 weeks. This should have been easy.
Before we name the country's lousiest motorist, there's just one more thing that has to happen. The 3 finalists have to drive me throughout the downtown core of our nation's largest city on a Friday at rush hour.
This year's route involves 25 turns through some of the most well-marked intersections in the country. To keep things personal, the nominees will be driving my rickety truck, which means it's Ashley's turn to drive her husband through town.
Nervous.
It's very important that when Ashley leaves this parking lot, she stays on Lakeshore Boulevard.
Lakeshore does one of these. Stay to the right. Make sure you stay on Lakeshore Boulevard. Do not get swept onto the Gardner.
Okay.
Stick to the right, okay?
When Ashley gets to the fork, she goes left.
Oh, no, no, no! Oh, man.
This mistake sweeps Ashley into the high-speed traffic of the Gardner Expressway.
Okay, folks, we're in for a ride now.
This is cruel.
You got us on the Gardner. Get off of this. Take any exit. Get off of this.
We stayed right, and then we stayed in the middle.
Yeah, I thought we stay in the middle.
Ashley does get back on course.
This is crazy, though.
But in the city, this prairie girl is overwhelmed by all the sights and sounds.
Is Toronto always this busy?
Homeless guy.
Bryan, no. We can't do that. We can't look. We gotta pay attention.
Wow, I've never seen one before. Look at them. They're sleeping everywhere.
Ashley must be asleep at the wheel.
Changing lanes on a solid white line is very against the law.
Cutting off pedestrians? Also illegal.
Oh, Ash. Pedestrians.
I know, but I have the right of way.
Vehicles never have the right of way in a crosswalk.
Ash.
Okay. Me. I'm Canada's worst driver.
While Ashley stops in yet another crosswalk.
Oh my God, lock your doors. Lock your doors. Lock your doors.
What?
Because he's going to ask for money and get in.
I'm chatting with tourists who watch Belgium's Worst Driver.
Yeah, and you have that show in Belgium?
Yeah.
The Canada's Worst Driver's 2 cars ahead.
Oh, now I see.
This is an international show, people. We're not the only country that does it. It's been done in England, it's been done in Belgium, it's been done in Australia.
We saw your show in Belgium. We're from Belgium.
This is my wife. She's the bad driver.
That's good. Apparently, man. Nice.
You guys keep her tight.
On Richmond Street, Ashley tries to pass an illegally parked van.
Occupying 2 lanes at once while not moving.
I will never, ever come back to a city like this ever again.
Not without our guns.
That's right.
Now the gunslinger is in the left turn lane with her right blinker on. World-famous Kensington Market is the next destination.
Holy, where the are we?
Crazy town.
Here in Kensington Market, pedestrians have the right of way. Bicyclists have the right of way. Do they legally? No, of course not. But look around. You can't fight the truth.
The truth about Ashley is she doesn't really understand traffic laws.
I don't think you're supposed to be in the crosswalk.
Headed for home, Ashley loses power.
What is going on with this thing?
The alternator just died.
What am I gonna do? I gotta pull over. I gotta pull over.
Okay, I'm getting out to push.
We push, and Ashley steers herself into a convenient parking spot, which happens to be for wheelchairs only. Overall, Ashley's drive could have cost her over $1,000 and her entire driver's license.
Good drive?
No, not at all.
It's time for me to join the experts so we can decide who is Canada's worst driver.
Dr. Gambora?
I'm torn. I don't know whether to choose Ashley or Emily.
I agree with you.
It's a head scratcher. Ashley, on the other hand, is harm.
Oh, Ash. Pedestrians.
And Ashley is aggressively dangerous.
Back home, we'd run your ass over.
I think Ashley's emotion are playing a big role here, and I think overall, because of that, she's probably the worst of the two.
I don't understand at all. I really don't.
Sergeant Woolley, who do you think?
I think they were both train wrecks, to be honest. And I think that Emily was, frankly, to me, slightly worse.
Dr. Gambora, though, is adamant about Ashley being the worst.
I think she could be a real menace on the road.
It's basically a philosophical choice. What do you consider more dangerous? An incredibly bad driver or an emotionally unstable driver?
I'm so Canada's worst driver.
The emotional. If it gets in the way, you've got a grenade going on.
That's why I'm going to stick with Ashley. Like I said, I think technically she's a better driver.
That's the shocking part, isn't it? In terms of being able to steer, Ashley's better. Being able to brake, Ashley's better. Turning left, Ashley's better. Overall, her emotions take her to such a dark place, I don't want to be on the road with her.
For me, for this, Ashley's definitely the most dangerous driver out there.
Dan?
I'm kind of swaying towards what you guys are saying. Just because she has the skill doesn't mean that she can control her emotions when she leaves here.
I'm still going to stick with Emily. They're both terrible, but I think Emily's just slightly worse.
Emily? Ashley? This was a very tough decision. But in the end, it really did come down to just one simple question. And the question is this: what's worse on Canadian roads? Not being able to control your vehicle or not being able to control your emotions? Our experts have decided that Canada's worst driver is Ashley.
What? Serious?
That means, Emily,
Holy
Ashley is not so happy.
sorry, Ash, but the judges feel that you're potentially a greater danger on the roads.
Holy F.
Bunch of No offense, guys. Congratulations. Right, babe?
Yep.
Ashley, I'm sorry. I can give you back your license because, frankly, we're not allowed to keep it. You can take this trophy.
I don't want it.
You want the trophy, Bryan?
No.
No?
No.
Ashley thinks she's driving herself home, but we've unhooked her battery.
Is this a joke? Are you totally kidding me?
This is a joke.
This has got to be a joke.
No, this is no joke. You're going to drive home on the back of that flatbed tow truck.
Oh, my God.
This tow truck is well known to Ashley. It rescued her 10 days ago after she drove with her parking brake on.
Maybe that should be the next tattoo.
Remember to put parking brake in off position.
I need a lot of tattoos for all the driving stuff I've learned.
In rehab, Ashley learned how to reverse properly.
I can't believe you used your mirrors.
She learned how to do a proper shoulder check.
Left. I didn't hit a thing.
And Ashley learned techniques for staying calm while driving with her husband.
All right, honeydew melon.
Oh, honeydew melon, that's my favorite.
But she hasn't learned to actually stay calm when the chips are down.
I really don't give a flying if I ever drive again. Driving is horrible. I can't handle this. I am Canada's worst driver. I am. Ugh.
She's right. Ashley is Canada's worst driver.
I'm so pissed right now.
Ashley is Canada's worst driver today. But tomorrow, hundreds of more Canadians will be getting their licenses. And next year, the rehab center will be open for business once more.
I swear to God, I will not tell a soul about show and medicine that whatsoever. I don't want anyone to watch this. I'm moving to Europe. If after this, I'm moving to Europe. I refuse to live in Canada. This is humiliating, beyond humiliating. This is horrible.
We'll probably go back into that and just continue our everyday life. Better drivers.
It's brutal. I don't even know what to think right now. I'm sad.
Sucks because we know she's a good driver. It's just, you know, a few minor technicalities.
I think they're being fair, but I think for being as harsh as Canada's worst driver, I think that's a little harsh. Like, yeah, it could be dangerous, but if you don't have skills to overcorrect it, you know.
Yeah.
I'm not like that. I'm not a big pussy.
No. And she doesn't put herself in situations while she's driving at home in anything like this, you know. She does, you know, bump into stuff here and there, but like it's, you know, she would never put herself where she'd have to back up between 100 miles of cars a foot apart.
I may be Canada's worst driver, but I've got a lot better. I drove in Toronto, which I never would have done. I don't drive in Calgary, so that's a bonus. And parallel parking. I know how to parallel park. I'm not afraid to parallel park anymore.
The shoes. She wearing better shoes. She even put better shoes on to ride in the tow truck.
I'll still do stuff right. I'm bitter. I'm really bitter. But I'll still do shit right.
Yeah. And now I would get behind the wheel with her anytime, in any city. I would do Toronto again, no problem. I feel like, you know, these courses here that you guys have done are so extreme that they're going to make driving in the real world here look like a cakewalk.
I'm a big loser. I still like my high heels. And even if I won't drive with them, but I'll never stop wearing them. For the fashion Nazis of Canada's worst driver, Andrew.
I hate to say it, but I really think if Donna was still here, that was definitely Canada's worst driver. So we're kind of like a runner-up, I guess, according to people.
That's brutal.
I keep divorce papers.